Hello everyone, welcome to Clear Perspective. I'm Serene. For the past few days, I've seen quite a number of friends commenting that they are not happy with how the future is going to turn out. So they've stopped following the news. I imagine a lot of people out there probably feel the same. Actually, I share the same feelings as everyone else. I think no system can be perfect. Everything follows a cycle. No matter how prosperous it was at the beginning, it would eventually decline. The only thing that remains the same would be the principles that we inherited from God since the beginning. These moral principles would never change and will guide us in distinguishing good from evil. Those who abide by moral principles must feel depressed when facing a society filled with corruption and crimes. The pain isn't caused by the results of an election. It is from seeing people abandon their characters when faced with tests of their conscience. It seems that the nation that was once built by our founding fathers is no longer recognizable. After its founding, it prospered and entered the height of its power. Now, more than 240 years has passed, it gradually declined to the current state. Just as George Washington said in his inauguration address, "The propitious smiles of heaven can never be expected on a nation that disregards the eternal rules of order and right which heaven itself has ordained." Today, we see a government with no morality rising to power through illegitimate means. Of course, anything fake depends on lies to sustain itself, and such things cannot last long. When it reaches an extreme, it will collapse. As the saying goes, the darkest hour is before the dawn. On the surface, it seems that both the CCP and the radical leftists have everything going their way. However, I believe in the saying, "Man proposes, God disposes." Evil must face retribution. It seems to me that after the deep state takes the presidency from Trump, more and more people stand up to continue Trump's legacy. Why do I say so? First, let's take a look at some latest news about Trump's family. For the first time, Florida Senator Marco Rubio responded to the rumors of Ivanka Trump challenging his seat in 2022. According to a media report, Rubio was rather bashful when asked about this. He told Fox News Sunday, quote, "If you are going to run for the Florida Senate, you are going to have a tough race, including a primary. That's the right under the system." According to a political report, a person in contact with Trump said that Jared Kushner is viewed as working single-mindedly to protect and promote his wife's political career. There are evident signs that Ivanka is working towards a seat in the Senate. In addition, the report said that Lara Trump, Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, was considering running for the Senate in North Carolina. Donald Trump Jr., Trump's eldest son, is also looking at a future in politics. We can see a clear trend here. Many of Trump's acquaintances, such as Pompeo, my pillow guy, and Trump's family members are planning to restructure the U.S. political scene. This also includes McCarthy. They all saw the huge influence of the MAGA movement and all hoped to follow this tide to realize their dreams. On January 28th, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy made a trip to Florida to visit former President Trump. Trump's Save America PAC released a statement saying that, quote, "The meeting was a very good and cordial one. They discussed many topics, number one of which was taking back the House in 2022. The statement added, "President Trump's popularity has never been stronger than it is today, and his endorsement means more than perhaps any endorsement at any time." As we know, there are currently 435 seats in the House, with the Democrats leading with 221 seats to 211 seats for the Republicans. There are 3 vacant seats. The results of the midterm elections usually favored the party that opposes the current president. Therefore, the Republicans are well positioned for next year's midterm elections. The meeting between Trump and McCarthy is significant because it tells us two things. One is that the Republican Party came to the consensus that they are not going to cut ties with Trump. We saw that after events of Capitol Hill, some Republicans supported the impeachment bill, thinking that this would help their popularity. A prominent example is Wyoming Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who is currently the House Republican Conference Chair, the third highest position in the House Republican leadership. Cheney actively promoted the bill calling for Trump's impeachment. It resulted in public backlash. According to a poll, 73% of Republicans and 62% of all voters in Wyoming oppose Liz. Not only that, but over half of Republicans approve removing Liz from Republican leadership in Congress. The second thing we can gather from the meeting is that Trump's current influence on the Republican Party remains unchanged and maybe even more solid than before. McCarthy, as a senior Republican who once supported challenging the certification of votes in Pennsylvania and formally opposed impeachment, is currently one of the few people who serve as a mediator between the Republican Party and Trump. In other words, McCarthy's visit actually tells us that the Republican Party will have a hard time in upcoming midterm elections or even the next presidential election without Trump. This is what we can call the MAGA movement. Trump is changing from a lone fighter to the leader of a large army. The MAGA movement is awakening the American public, and they are now starting to take actions. An example of this is the ongoing GameStop incident, as we talked about yesterday. This struggle between Reddit users and Wall Street giants over GameStop share, GME, has affected many on a global scale. The Wallstreetbets subreddit has surged by nearly 3 million subscribers within a day. They all banded together and bought GME GameStop shares, causing the price to skyrocket. Wall Street's crackdown has angered a large number of small institutions and individual investors. Moreover, a large number of retail investors in Canada, Europe, and even South Korea have posted their GME shares on Reddit to show their support. Most retail investors can only buy a few GME shares because of the high price. Despite this, they aren't willing to sell them. They want Wall Street institutions to lose more money, take consequences of their rampant actions, and learn their lessons. If 6 million people think this way, then it is no longer about money. It is about the public standing up to Wall Street and their monopoly. Many of you may be as surprised as I am. Retail investors have never been this organized before. They were able to demonstrate such great determination through a gaming company stock. What motivated them? I think it is the MAGA movement, along with the unprecedented election fraud, has awakened many Americans. The countless voices that were suppressed by lies have found a place to display their objections. It is almost like an open robbery, how Wall Street and online investing platforms monopolized stock markets and oppressed retail investors. It also seemed like a replica of the general election, where public opinion is silenced by mainstream media and tech oligarchs. At the Friday closing, GME's price was $325. What does this mean for Wall Street short sellers? Previously, the shorting rate was as high as 120% due to Wall Street's excessive greed. Now the short sellers of GME owes about 60 million shares. On Friday, these short sellers had to buy back maybe tens of million shares before the market closes. Some professionals have estimated that if they have to purchase shares at more than $200, the short sellers should just declare bankruptcy. Otherwise, It's a matter of how much Wall Street would lose. In order for Wall Street to not lose money, GameStop share need to be worth only a few dozen dollars. We've still yet to see how Wall Street will react in the coming days. But one thing is certain, Robinhood is doomed. Though they have named themselves after the popular folklore hero, but they have done the exact opposite of defending the common people. After the dust settles, Robinhood will be hard-pressed to stay afloat with the multitudes of lawsuits and migrating users. Their original plan to go IPO this year likely won't happen either. In fact, it is questionable whether the platform would survive. It is hard to predict how this battle will end. No matter what the ending is, this epic battle will leave its mark in American society. Lastly, we would like to remind our friends again that our platform may be restricted on social media. Click the link in the description below to register your email. In case of any unexpected disruptions, we will email you our latest updates. Thank you all for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.